I mean, Brock Bowers at quarterback.
Right.
Welcome to My God Up Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I review Georgia's 51-13 win over Kentucky. We talk about our experiences on Saturday and what stood out to us during the game. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at My God Up Podcast. Finally, we'd love for you to check out our presenting sponsor, Oxia Time, at oxiatime.com. That's AXIATIME.com. Now, let's join the conversation in progress.
How do we do this in person?
I don't know, man. It's weird. In your basement. At least we have this beautiful backdrop.
Yeah. Well, just like let's start this off the way we start off every episode, John. Just like we predicted. Man, so much for the formidable opponent, strengths on strengths. Like, I don't know, fast start.
It was the fast start. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing was that, we came out and Mr. Thorson just twiddled his thumbs all day long.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously. We now confirmation. Carson Beck hates Australians.
Yes. And the defense showed up too. I feel like that we managed things. We were all concerned about Ray Davis, and I think he only had like 56 yards. So
yeah.
On the whole, it was pretty. Like we've been talking about it. Like we've been looking for the complete performance, and that at the end of the day, we saw a fully operational battle station.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to put it. I mean, not only did Ray Davis have, whatever he had, it was under 60. It was 50 something. I think, and then the team, because of the sacks, was like 55 yards rushing net for Kentucky in this game.
Yeah, it felt like they really couldn't get going on anything. And even the plays that they had, like there were some opportunities, and there's obviously going to be some things to clean up because they had some guys that were open, and I remember like we were looking around on some of those overthrows and some of those like where he just missed his receivers. But there was definitely some opportunities out there, but by and large, it was good. It was good, complete game.
Yeah, right from the start, come out, get the ball first, fast start, scored. And we got the vertical passing game that you've been looking for.
Yes.
And we threw to Ra Thomas.
I've decided that we just need to look for Ra deep every single time that he's on the field just to see if he's open. Yeah. And if he is, and even if there's a little wrinkle, just throw it up to him. It's kind of like Brock. Like, I feel like that we're developing a wide receiver, passing game threat that is going to be very hard to scheme against because there were multiple plays where we would send guys in motion and the coverage sets were in such a way where it put the defense into, as Graham likes to refer to it, it puts the defense in conflict. And where, you've got cornerbacks that are switching off that linebackers are then having to move over. I saw that a couple of times. Your vantage point at your seats is very unique. It's kind of like the all 11. So you can kind of see all the intricacies from a sky view. And so, I saw that multiple times. Brock Bowers at quarterback.
Right. Man, I do, we're doing this a little bit differently, right? And I don't have the show notes, but that actually was something that I did jot down because I'll have little notes, and that was my note this game was Brock Bowers quarterback. And so apologies to who asked because I know remember we got a question, was this the week that Brock Bowers throws a pass? And when he lined up at quarterback, I knew it was like Wildcat, but I was freaking out.
Yes.
Stadium,
I didn't notice it. You pointed it out to me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Too good.
But I feel like that what they did with that was they just gave kind of a wrinkle as to there's a number of different ways that could have gone, right?
Yeah.
So I think that they're just giving defensive coordinators things to think about.
Agreed, for sure. Which, you know what, I guess something we didn't even really talk about is you came to the game. And you sat with me.
Well, the story of the game, the game was great. But the story of the day was the tailgate. It loomed large.
It did loom large. Greg threw an amazing tailgate in rodeo, incredible tailgate. saw all the people, British Bulldog from across the pond, miserable in Minnesota, is no longer miserable or in Minnesota. Saw him in the fam. Walked over to see Logan.
Val came in town
Saw
from
Val.
Texas.
Saw all kinds of people, everyone, too many to name, but 3 epic tailgates that we were able to participate in between Greg and Rodeos, Logan's, and Hug Dogs. So it was a heck of a day. And you guys went to the dog walk.
And we did get to go to the dog walk. We just barely. Carter, I tried to get him to use his kid equity and to squeeze in, but he didn't want to squeeze in. But we were there. Matter of fact, we were walking down the hill and we saw the police cars coming down the hill, and I was like, "Oh, there they are."
Nice. And then actually, a little bit of foreshadowing on the weather, right? You're at dog walk, and what did you text me?
Yeah, we went over to the tailgate over by the stadium, and I felt the wind over at Hug Dog's tailgate, and I said to myself, "Oh boy, the swirling winds," and boy, did they swirl.
Yeah, I did. I'm a little slim on particulars from the second quarter because I spent most of the second quarter in line at the merch tent trying to buy a blanket for Lily, which I was able to eventually secure. But like merch tent people, when it's freezing cold, everyone is just in line for a blanket. Like, can we have like a blanket fast pass, please?
Yes.
I'll get off my lawn on that.
Or just like walk around the aisle. Who needs a blanket?
Yeah.
Do the square up. I ended up doing the same thing because the wind just became so brutal. Poor Carter was struggling. He was also struggling because the Braves were losing pretty much the whole game.
Yes. Yeah.
We had it on the phone streaming, and everybody around us kept asking Carter, like, what's the score? And the poor kid could barely talk.
That was funny. Yeah. Our the folks who sit in front of us, Carter, it's kind of funny because back in the day, I would always have my headphones. So I was the guy, like, someone got injured, they would turn around and ask me, what they say? What are they saying? What's the sideline saying? And so Carter got that treatment, though. He was giving the Braves updates.
Yes. And I was having to translate for him because they couldn't understand his mouthing.
They're like, Carter, what do you got? Well, people, the Braves are down 1-0.
Exactly.
Oh, man. That was fun. But yeah, so I basically missed the second quarter. So I actually have not really seen the Kentucky, like the one touchdown drive, like their full drive that they had in the second quarter. I was buying a blanket, so I missed that.
Yeah, I kind of missed it as well because I went and got some food and stuff. But basically it seemed like that they just kind of drove down the field. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's things that we can definitely clean up, but
yeah, sure.
The weather was definitely a factor. As much as I was concerned about it when I saw, because if you're sitting up in the 300 section or 600 section, you can see literally all the flags. I mean, you got the American flag off in the distance that's swirling around one way, and then you look at the field goal posts, and those flags are swirling in a completely different direction. So the kicking game became a concern for me. Yeah, but he was perfect, right? Like, I don't think he missed a single field goal. It was a big payday.
It was a big payday. Yeah, he did well. We didn't get to find out how Thorson would kick in such wind. But.
Yeah, I think that their kicker had a few. And again, we just get the best game out of opposing teams' punters. It seems like
one might say he had a few bangers, John.
He had a few bangers.
But I don't know. I mean, offensively, I think. Okay. So I was gonna say is like, if you're still questioning Bobo now after yesterday, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, guy behind me was not there this game, so you didn't get to experience that. Although who knows, maybe he was there and I just didn't recognize him and he had nothing to say.
I know if you're a Bobo hater, we can hold a candlelight vigil. I think Graham said something about that.
Yeah.
Some of the haters that he had messaging him that they were going to hold a vigil, but Carson Beck, number 3 in the SEC in terms of passing and all that kind of stuff. So. And he's only, and from a national perspective, he's only a couple hundred yards off of Shadur Sanders, who leads the country. It's like over 2,000 yards or something.
Yeah, I think I saw someone said that he's like number 4 in the nation now. Passing or something like that.
Yeah, and frankly, he probably could be a good bit higher had he not had so many drops.
Yeah. I mean, he was what? I forget the exact completion percentage or whatever, but I mean, he was 389 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 pick. Heck of a game.
Yeah. I think when you were gone, Brock actually dropped the touchdown in the end zone.
That was while I was trying to get a blanket. I have seen the replay though. I'm
They
pretty
hit him right in
surprised
the hands.
I'm surprised he dropped that.
Yeah.
You know,
He's human. Everybody turned around and was like, he's human.
yeah. Even in Brocktober.
Even in Brocktober. Which we got to see Vandegrift drive.
Yeah. I mean, and he
looked good.
He looked good. Moved the ball well with his feet too.
Yeah.
It's fun to see him take off.
Yeah, it seems like the team is kind of coming together.
Yeah. It is cool to see a backup come in and then tailor things a bit and let him utilize his skill set, and not just make him run what Carson's running.
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool. So
Right.
I don't know. Let's see. I mean, the defense, right? I mean, the defense really.
Yeah, we had a
Again,
lot of sacks. I
yeah,
don't know how
we
many
did.
sacks exactly, but I just remember like when crunch time came where they didn't have much of an option but to pass, like we ended up taking them down.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the vaunted rushing attack, the physical football coming in, and we made them one-dimensional. I mean, really held Ray Davis in check.
Did we get sacked? Like, did we have any sacks?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I don't remember if we did. If it wasn't like an impactful situation because that was another storyline coming up. Was it Dion something or other? I can't remember the
Dion Washington, I think.
Walker.
Dion Walker. Yeah.
Something like that.
Number 0. They're big O.
Yeah, he came into the game with a big presence along the defensive line, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to account for him. But I don't think he was really a factor much at all, at least as far as like the big picture. Maybe he could play here or there, but I mean, literally everybody played probably their best game. Kendall Milton came in and looked good.
He did. He looked like Kendall Milton again.
He looked like Kendall Milton. Although what I will say about that is that as far as the running game goes, like I feel like we attacked the edges a lot more than we have in this game. Maybe that's just how I feel, but when he came in, like when Kendall came in, like I think that he's an edge attacker.
Yeah. Oh, now my voice is starting to show through. Sorry.
Oh man, my voice is showing through. That again, the story of the game was the tailgate.
Yeah, the tailgate. Well, shoot, Friday too. We did go to the Hardgrit Library.
Yes,
and got to meet Jason. Got to meet historian Jason Hasty. See the Dooley exhibit. Pretty incredible. Humbled that our words were actually like part of the exhibit. I didn't exactly realize it was going to be like that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And shout out to 51-7 GATA for making it out for that as well.
Yes, we were walking in. I was like, "Are you 51-7 GTA?" Yeah. And that was kind of a foreshadowing for the weekend, was introducing everybody and knowing everybody through their Twitter handles versus their real names. I'm still bad with the names, but I will solidly remember the Twitter handles.
Too good. Yeah, the tour was amazing. We got a little bit of behind the scenes with some artifacts, extra artifacts from Jason. So I put a bunch of pictures out of that stuff on Twitter already. Maybe you can get some more of that out there too.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures on my socials as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a great day on Friday too, because we got in town. I got in a little later than usual, but for good reason. And we did the Hardgrit Library. We got to see the ball that Sonny ran in from the Rose Bowl, the leather helmet. I can't remember when it was from. I want to say it was like the 40s or something like that. Carter got to sort of wear the leather helmet.
He got to hold it over his head, not put it on.
Yeah. And then we got to see the play card from Stetson Bennett, and the wristbands from Keely Ringo from the first national championship game. So,
yeah, it was pretty epic. I was over there forever.
The first.
I was over there for a while because I got over there early and met up with Dwight from Bulldogs battling breast cancer, and our buddy Chris, British Bulldog, hung out with them for a while, and then they had to get on for an event Friday night, and then my parents came. Were able to make it over.
Yeah, that was awesome.
To the Dooley exhibit as well, which, by the way, we are in Lou and Panda's basement. So we have the lovely backdrop.
Panda's famous basement.
So shout out to Mom and Dad for hosting us for the weekend. It's been awesome.
Thank you for the hospitality. Couldn't ask for a better venue.
Oh man. I don't know, man. I still don't really know. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know how to do this in person.
Yeah,
Literally never. We've never done this before.
we've never done it, but yeah, it's always been remote. We figured we'd give the folks a little something special since we were in person this weekend. But yeah, I think that just wanted to hop on and give a quick synopsis of the weekend. I don't know if we're gonna do a full review or not, but whatever. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
True story.
My voice is dead. Your voice is dead. I'm pretty sure Carter's throat closed up last night completely. But yeah, the funny thing is that when we would show up to the tailgates and stuff, like that was something that I think I'll never forget. It was like introducing myself or saying hello, and then everybody looking down at Carter saying, sorry, Carter.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so good.
Man, Kurt, yeah, dude, that was funny. Everybody was giving me hell for the clothing pictures and stuff. That was funny. I didn't even end up wearing most of it. Notorious overpacker.
Yeah. I just heard from over here. I heard a voice from over here. Mackay Mew's dad made it to the tailgate. We got to meet Mackay Mew's dad. Chat with him a little bit. That was fun.
The unofficial official wide receiver of My God, a Podcast. So it was nice to meet his dad. So Mr. Muse, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming over. Yeah, we had John Tweets. John, the Smith Brothers band. Smith Brothers band was in town.
All the brothers were there.
Locked On guys. Man, I even had a friend that came into town from my days before I got married and stuff. So, and he had a whole crew come from Chicago. They were Michigan State fans, and I guess that's like a thing that they do every year is pick a game to go to and soak up the experience. And they chose to come to Georgia today. They were walking around with Michigan State stuff. So if you saw them,
that's right.
They were at the tailgate. They chose to come to Georgia. Everybody was cool though. Like even the Kentucky fans, try to be hospitable and there wasn't a whole lot of smack talk.
No, there actually wasn't. I agree.
I was actually surprised because I was expecting more Kentucky fans.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know, like I feel like in this day and age, for whatever reason, teams don't travel to Georgia like they used to. I feel like it's like that third deck used to be like you would see so much of the opposing fans' color, and you don't see that as much anymore.
Right. It could be shout out to Coach Miller. He's a high school coach of mine from back in the day, but he's a huge Kentucky fan. I think went to Kentucky, but I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, are you going to be in town? Like, maybe we can meet up." And he was like, "No, I'm not going to be there." I was like, "Well, it should be a good game." He's like, "Yeah, it'll be a good game for about the first quarter. Everybody will be really excited about it, but I'm pretty sure Georgia's going to win this one."
Yeah. I mean, it was 21-0 before we blinked.
Yeah, seriously.
And then I was in line buying a blanket, so I don't know.
Yeah, then we ended up having a blanket. Oh man, I'll never forget Jim. Actually, like when we dropped off all of our stuff, the last thing out, you were like handing me this jacket, and you're like, "Do you want your jacket?" I was like, "Nah, I'll be fine." I did not account for the feels like with the wind.
Yeah,
the wind chill was not supposed to be a factor.
I didn't either, and I brought, I at least had something. Like I had a quarter zip, but it was way too thin. I was way not prepared. I'm
gonna have to factor the swirling winds because when you got on the concourse, it was fine.
It was fine. It was just sitting there, and that's what in Coach Trill. So it's like behind us a little bit higher. He came down to talk to us, and he was like, "It's just as windy where you guys are as where I am. Like there was like no difference. It wasn't any warmer." Yeah. Which on that note, I don't, like you said, not sure we'll do another review, a fuller one. We don't have the results of the Coach Trill bill in yet. Hasn't sent them yet. Which I told him, don't worry about it. And but I do know that we hit the over on the over-under Kentucky bourbons at the tailgate. Coach, I watched him count them.
Yes. We had a certified vote, a certified count.
Oh man!
Shout out to David Wright.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much. And I should have the bottle, but it's upstairs. But the mystery bottle was one that fraternity brothers, and there was David's another one, of fraternity brother of ours, and there was a private select barrel select
New Riff. It was a New Riff bottle barrel select by the Delt Whiskey Enthusiast.
Yep, had the insignia on there and everything. So we were able to share that Friday night. So that was pretty awesome.
Protomoy, David Lee. Protomoy.
Love it. Well, I don't know. You got anything else?
I don't know, man. Like I said, a big reason why this was looming large was the tailgate. You know, British Bulldog coming in town. Like that was the first time we'd met in person. We've talked. We have the WhatsApp chat, but like
right.
it was really cool to finally meet. Carter and British Bulldog did some rugby scrums.
That's right.
It was great watching everybody kind of embrace my son. Just so personal thank you to all of the fans and all the folks at the tailgate. You know, Carter basically at one point I was like, all right, who's gonna throw with Carter? So I scammed Daniel Smith into throwing with Carter. And then I looked up at one point and Carter was throwing cornhole with AB.
Yeah.
I said, hey, thanks for entertaining me. He entertained me. We won.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know Lily and my nephew Braden, they got going with the cornhole a bit. That was kind of funny that like my sister arrived with my nephew and my daughter.
Yeah.
While we were at Logan's tailgate. So I didn't time that very well, but we made it back over there. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was hard to walk away from, you know, any one person, any one tailgate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the story. And you know, on a personal note, like I tell you, I posted about it, but like, you know, I did the pre-run.
Mm-hmm.
I did it early.
Yep.
It was an early start. It wasn't a slow start. Fast start for me. I think I was awake for 20 hours straight yesterday.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, it was really surreal going into Athens at 5 o'clock in the morning and not a soul in sight, like other than like random workers. I think towards the end of the run, I ended up passing some other runners that were out. But I mean, it was such a surreal experience that, you know, to be there with nobody around and then show up later on and there's thousands of people. It's just,
yeah.
If you ever have a chance to do that, I highly recommend it.
I was asleep. I missed that.
I tried to get you to come.
I know. Yeah.
I barely made it myself. So.
Well, that's how I kept from being awake for 20 hours or whatever it was.
Yes. Yeah. Well, last night we were like, you want to do Victory Cigar and Bourbon? I was like, I'm so tired. I think but all told, with between the run and the walking, I think it was 10 miles.
Yeah.
It was right at 10 miles.
Unbelievable. I know. Then when we were on the way back to my parents' house from the game, all the kids were in the backseat trying to convince us to go to Waffle House.
Oh yeah.
We did not oblige. They had Panda's famous hot chocolate when we got back.
Yeah, that was great.
Too good. Well, I don't know, John. Again, I don't know how to do this in person, but
run the dang hydration.
Run the dang hydration. Yes, Liquid IV definitely came in.
Yeah, that was clutch. And I had a nice Celsius. Shout out Logan Booker. And we got British Bulldog took a picture of our Axia timepieces.
We got to make sure we share that on the socials.
Yes.
We'll get that out there. So shout out to Axia Time, you know, presenting sponsor season 4. Definitely go out to AXIATIME.com, and as always you can use that code MyGottaPodcast to get one of the presentation boxes that goes with them as well. But yeah, we got a nice Chris was like, hold your watches up next to each other.
Yeah,
so we held our wrists up next and got the watches right next to each other at the tailgate. That was pretty cool.
It felt like Captain Planet, like our powers combined.
Yeah.
We can win this game handedly.
right yeah, seriously. Oh man, and it worked. That was it.
Yes, that was it. Oh man.
Yeah. And then also remember, you can get your Sorry Carter t-shirts. Get the merch over at mygottapodcast.com/store. And thanks again to Working Web Media for helping us update the site as well.
Yes. So Carter's been listening. Carter, any parting thoughts for us for your experience on the game? Hopefully y'all picked that up.
In case it didn't, we just got a broken I can't speak from Carter. He left it all in the field.
He left it all on the field.
Awesome, man.
And got a blanket out of it.
And a blanket. Yeah. So our kids got new blankets out of the game, if nothing else. Hey, and a decisive victory. What? Yeah. 51 to 13. Sorry, I keep forgetting that they went for 2 for some reason. 51-13, 50 burger. Got us a new 50 burger gift out of that you made, John, yes. As well. So pretty awesome. Oh, and you know what? We as we were walking into the stadium, we had a bunch of Dog Central folks there. We ran into Graham on the way into the stadium as well.
We did run into Graham. That was great. And we saw Mrs. Graham.
Yeah, I
That
had
was-
not met her.
I had not met her either. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, what a weekend, man. What a weekend.
Yeah. It was definitely one for the books, and let's run it back sometime soon.
Love it. Absolutely.
Any parting thoughts for us?
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.